everyone. I am so excited you are here today. My name is Holly Firstenow, and today I want to deep dive into finding your purpose. I'm really excited about this episode because one, it's something I kind of feel like I've searched for my whole life. I think most of us have. And two, I had just this mind-blowing experience this weekend that I want to share with you because it was super exciting, and I want you to have the same experience so that your mind can be blown and you can figure out what your purpose is. Now, I am someone who was given a lot of confidence as a kid, right? And I know not everybody has that, but I was given a lot of confidence. I truly believed that if I wanted to be the president, I could. Even though I knew nothing, I don't think I could pass any kind of test about how the government works, okay? But I truly believed it because my parents, poured that into me since I was a child, that I could do anything, I could do whatever I wanted to do. And so I believe it. The other reason I think I believe that is because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And whether you were given that as a kid or not, if you have that entrepreneur spirit, we can sometimes be torn so many different ways because we're kind of good at a lot of things, right? Like we could do a lot of things if we wanted to. I'm really good at admin work. Do I enjoy it? No, but I'm good at it. I could totally do it. I've been offered a lot of jobs in my life because I'm just a hard worker, and if I have a task, I'll do the best that I can at it. And I kind of know a little bit about everything, and I find a lot of entrepreneurs are that way. I know a lot about money and how money works. I know a lot about software systems. I know about marketing. I could do an email campaign. I could do a social media campaign. I can write copy. I can do a lot of different things because I've had my hands in a lot of different things. But what happens is, I think we find ourselves in this place that we go, well, I'm good at a lot of things, but what do I want to do? Like, what do I focus on? Right? And I'm terrible at that. Like, I'm all over the place. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it doesn't mean that I'm flaky. It just means that, like, I get excited about things and I want to pour into it. And so sometimes I have to step back. And my husband's really good at making me step back and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, what do you actually want to do? Like, my husband was really scared at one point because I decided I was going to open a school. Like, that's what I wanted to do because I wasn't real happy with the schools available for my kids, and I'd be a great director at a school. Are you freaking kidding me? Those kids would know everything about entrepreneurism. We'd hire the best people, like all these things. And I could do that. Like, I know I could go open a school I called about what I needed to do for a building. I was like setting up meetings, like that's what I had wanted to do. But sometimes as entrepreneurs, and I know it happens to me, you go, well, what am I like called to do? Like, what's my purpose? Because there's no direction, there's no vision. And a lot of times I try things, but they don't always I don't continue on them. And I think it's not that I'm flaky, but it's because the passion wears off, because it's not my true calling. It's not what I was made for. I was made for a purpose. And whether you are, a Christ follower or a believer or anything like that or not, I'm sure we'd all agree that we are made for a purpose. We are here to do something. What is it? What is it? So through this process of us just kind of losing everything, we relocated to Idaho, which we absolutely love. It is home for us. It's been home since we've moved here 3 years ago. It's crazy that it's been 3 years already. But that also, if you're following my journey, you can kind of see how long it takes. I really focused on healing myself after trauma, after losing everything, but it still takes a while. But we're at a great place right now. I'm in a great place. And since we moved here, we tried to find a home church. That was something that was important to us because my husband and I both grew up in church. My mom is a pastor. My dad works at the church. His dad is an elder and a deacon, and his mom is involved. And so it was important to us that we find a home church because we wanted to find a place where people had similar belief systems similar belief systems to us, so that we could really build our community there. And it was important for us to have our kids have that foundation because we both had that foundation growing up. And so it's really helped us as we lost everything and as we struggled financially and as we struggled to pick ourselves up, we both had that foundation that we could rely back on, to hold us up when things were tough. So it was just important for us to find a home church. So we've gone to a lot of different churches in the area. We thought we found a place and it just wasn't working out. My son deals with just crippling anxiety. And so, we've tried different churches. We did the whole, I'd go first and check it out. And then if it was good enough, then we try to bring them, and dealing with that struggle of him with anxiety. And since we, that it's just been a battle. And I think a lot of it has to do with kind of the uprooting that he had so young and the issues that me and Andrew have obviously gone through. So it's something that we've really been working on helping him with that. My husband remembers dealing with anxiety as a kid. So, obviously some of that is going to come through your genes. But anyways, it's just been this struggle to find a place. We find a place that either the kids love, but the service we're like, or we don't really love the pastor and his wife, or we don't really connect, or there's something. And you kind of go, okay, well, I don't want to be too picky, right? There's not going to be a perfect place for everything. But we found it, guys. We found the place. My sister-in-law actually told us about this church. And so I said, hey, let's go check it out. Me and my sister-in-law checked it out and loved it. My husband music is very important to him. So having good music, having current music, that kind of stuff is very important. And then the message is also very important because he wants something that is, from the word, but is also very relative to today's lifestyle, and how we can relate it into our own life. And then for me, it was children's ministry, because I want a place that is secure. I want to know my kids are safe. I want to know no one else can walk in and take them. I want to know they're protected. And so we just had all these different things, when you kind of go and you kind of scrutinize everything. And we found a place that was just amazing. And so that was really, really great. So anyways, all that to say, we went to a class on Saturday that was kind of like, if you're new to the church and you kind of want to get involved, you want to hear what the belief system is, all that kind of stuff, there's this class that you can go to and we'll tell you all about it. And it was awesome. It was taught by the lead pastor and his wife, who are amazing. I'd say they're a little older than me and my husband. I got 4 kids, just very normal people that we can connect with. And this is what I loved. There's a few things I loved about this class, but one thing that I loved is they had us take some personality tests that have to do with your spiritual gifts and what you're gifted at, so that what areas of ministry you would, benefit in, how you can help out, but how it also helps you. And this is why I love it. I've been to church my whole life. Never done anything like this. It's always been oh, you have kids in children's ministry? You got to help out in children's ministry. Everybody needs to help. It's always been like that. It's always been, 20% of the people doing 80% of the work. And it was just mind-blowing to me that they were like, hey, if you don't like working with kids, we don't want you working with kids. We want you where your gifts are. If you are awesome, if you've got kids, but you are awesome at doing, media, we want you doing media, because that's where your gifts are. That's where you're going to flourish, and that's where you're going to help the church. And I just thought it was absolutely amazing. So it was super exciting. But it really related to this season I am in my life of finding my purpose. What am I built for? And let me backtrack a little bit. When I was at my darkest time, when I couldn't get out of bed and I was crying all the time, I remember one day my husband coming home from work, and he was trying to, help me out of it, and what can we do? And he was like, what do you want? What do you want? And no joke, I can't even get out of bed, right? I probably hadn't worn real pants in weeks, no makeup, my hair's in a ponytail, haven't showered, I'm sure. And I'm bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I just want to help people. I was like, there's so many people hurting there like me, and I just want to help them. And I remember him just being like, I'm sure he's just like, Holly, are you kidding me? And he told me, he's like, Holly, you cannot help anyone right now. You have to take care of yourself. You have to figure out your own stuff before you can go help somebody else. And he was so right. But in that moment, I knew at my lowest point, I knew my purpose was to help people. I knew it was, I'm a teacher at heart, and I have my teaching degree, but my third year of college, I said, I do not want to be a traditional teacher. God bless those of you who are, because that has got to be the hardest job in the world. So I finished out and got my degree, but I used it very little. But to heart, I'm a teacher, but my passion is money, right? That's my passion. My passion is resources, in how to maximize our resources and how to use them. And so going back now to where I am now is I've kind of been in this place of like, okay, I'm feeling better. You know, I've gone to therapy. My hormones are normal. You know, we just bought a house. Life is great. My kids are going to school, so I've got time. So what do I want to do? And I found that I go back to that entrepreneur spirit of like, I want to do this. I want to do this. What do I want to do? Because I could do that and I could do that. And do I want to become a realtor? And do I want to have this YouTube channel? And do I want to focus on an MLM? And what do I want to do? And even though I'll have my hand in a lot of things all the time, probably just because that's my personality, it was super interesting to take this personality test, because it really shows and focuses and helps me realize what my purpose is, guys. What are my gifts? What are your gifts? If you are not gifted in being in small groups of people, don't do a job where you constantly have to be in smaller groups of people, right? If you are not gifted in technology, don't have a job where you have to work with technology all the time, because that's not your gifting. And there's a lot of things we can learn to be good at. For instance, I am really great at working with kids. I mean, I'm sorry. I know my parents gave me a lot of confidence, so I'm probably tooting my horn a little bit too much. But I'm great at working out with kids. Do I enjoy it? No. I do not enjoy working with kids. But I'm great at it because my mom owned a preschool for 30 years. She's now a children's pastor. I've been around it my whole life. I understand how kids work. I understand the mechanics of it. I know how their minds work, what you can do in different situations, all that kind of stuff, because I've been around it my whole life. But it doesn't mean I enjoy it. That's not my spiritual gift. So I'm going to share with you my answers. You guys get to hear, okay? So I encourage you, if you are trying to find your purpose, okay, what do I do? What am I going to focus on? You take a personality test. What are your gifts? What are your spiritual gifts? And I don't even have the name of these tests. You know, there's so many. I'm looking on here to see if there's something. There are so many different types of tests out there you can do. This one is, it's the DISC. D-I-S-C. Simple Discovery. Simple Discovery. And so you end up being like 2 letters. I am a D-I. Okay, so this was the first personality test. I'm a DI. So it talks about how I, thrive in activity. I thrive in moving forward, leading lots of people. I'm determined. I tend to place emphasis on the bottom line. Let me tell you, I place emphasis on the bottom line. Oh, yes, I do. To me, time is money. And I think sometimes my friends and people can be offended by that, because they think, well, you got to slow down. Like, it's all about the relationship. It's all about hanging out, spend time together. And I'm like, nope, time is money. Time is money. And that's my personality. And so sometimes we go and we want to change our personalities, when in reality, we need to lean into it, guys. What are your strengths? Lean into your strengths. Quit trying to fix your weaknesses. Don't fix the weaknesses. Lean into the strengths. That's where you're really going to succeed. So this was eye-opening to me, because, I wanted, since everything happened, I have wanted to have like a YouTube channel. I've wanted to teach. I've wanted to be a speaker. I've wanted to, just talk about what we went through, the steps I've taken to heal myself, to help myself, and then talk about, finances and the economy and all these things. Those have been my things that I have really, that I'm drawn to, yet I second guess myself a lot, right? Because I've lost everything. How can I talk to people about money? How can I talk about paying off debt when I went through bankruptcy? How can I talk about growing a business when I was sued and I had to hand over my business to the people that sued me? How can I do that? Well, let me tell you how I can do it, because those are my strengths. Because I'm going to lean into those strengths. I'm not going to worry about my weaknesses. I'm not going to try to make those stronger. I'm going to lean into my strengths. I'll show you another story in a minute. So my spiritual gifts, okay? These are my spiritual gifts. And they say spiritual gifts. I think there's a lot of personality tests that would say the same thing. They wouldn't call them spiritual. It'd just be your gifting, what you're good at, that kind of thing. Is leadership. These are my top 3. Leadership, pastoring, and giving. Giving has to do with money. You know, you want to give above and beyond. You like to give more than your tithe. You like talking about giving and money and the financial aspect of all of it. You have your hand in that. Those are my top 3, guys. Those are my top 3. Is that not exactly what I want to be doing right now? It's exactly what I want to be doing. It's the thing that for years I've talked myself out of it because I'm not qualified. I don't know enough. I've fallen on hard times. Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to respect me? But those are my spiritual gifts. So if I love to teach, and one of my spiritual gifts is teaching, you know, is leadership, pastoring, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing that? I need to lean into those things. Case in point, my husband, he's totally opposite from me, right? He does not like being center of attention. He doesn't like speaking in front of people. When we owned our business before, I was the face of the company. I dealt with a lot of the things, but he did all the back end work. But a lot of people, it would look on the outside like I did everything in the company, when in reality, he was working just as hard, but you just didn't get to see what he did because that's not what he enjoyed. His top 3 are service, help, and craftsmanship. Totally my husband. He loves to work with his hands. He loves to fix things. He loves to build things. He's someone that helps you in physical needs, that provides services. The other day we were selling a stove. We bought this house and it is a fixer-upper, to say the least. So we ended up getting a different stove. So we had the previous stove and it was gross, needed to be cleaned. And I was in a foul mood. I was so mad. And finally I had to go to my husband. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood. I said, I just realized I'm in a really bad mood because I'm cleaning the stove and I hate manual labor. I hate it with a passion. Stick me in front of a computer all day long, done, no problem. I can sell on eBay, I can write some blog posts, I can do our QuickBooks, I can do whatever you want and I will be happy about it. But give me a little manual labor where I gotta like scrub a stove, puts me in a bad mood. Well, of course, those are not my giftings. Those are not the things I'm good at. So I'm in this season right now and I encourage you, find out what your giftings are, okay? Take a test. I'm gonna take the Enneagram, I think it's called. I haven't done it yet, but I've heard it's amazing. I'm gonna take it, I'll share my results. And if you are in a season that you're like, what do I do? I'm all over the place. I don't know what to do. I have no direction. Where do I go? Find out what your giftings are. And don't just say, oh, I know I'm good at this, because I did that before. I was like, well, I'm really good at teaching. I really love teaching. I really love talking to people about the economy and about money and about business. And I just like encouraging people that they can just do better and they can work harder and, you know, we can get the resources for them. I like doing that. But until I actually like took a test that was like, yes, you are good at this, I didn't really have the confidence in myself to do it because I'd always second guess myself. Whereas I'm not second guessing myself anymore. If you don't like the way I teach, that's fine. Follow someone else on YouTube. Go listen to another teacher. You do not have to listen to me. I know I'm not going to connect with everybody. I know that. I know some people are not going to like me. That's okay. I'm speaking to the people that do like me. So if you don't like me, just check out, leave. Please don't leave a nasty comment. Just politely leave and go on your way, okay? But find out what your gifting is and then wrap your life around that. Whether that's your job or it's the new business you're starting or how you know, if you're in an MLM, all kinds of personalities can work in an MLM. It's just going to be different how you approach people, how your sales message is, what your background information is. It'll just change that. And so if you know what your giftings are, it can give you a little bit of vision and focus moving forward. And I find that that is one of the biggest problems with entrepreneurs is our focus is all over the place because we can do a lot of different things, but let's focus on what are your actual gifts because that's where you're really going to find your purpose. That's where you're going to find your purpose is finding out what your gifts are. So hope that encourages you guys today. I'm just super excited moving forward on this channel and being able to share that information with you. Please put a comment below, hit a like if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to like us, put a comment, thumbs up, whatever that is. It really helps us to be able to get more content out to you. And find your purpose today, guys. Find your purpose because you have one. You have a purpose. And I want to hear what it is. Put it in the comments below. Let me know. Thanks, guys.